Good afternoon, TikTok. Ah! I am currently driving yet again through the wilds of southern Mississippi, heading to see my mother for her, I don't know, 20th, 25th birthday, one of them years. She probably doesn't want me to tell you how old she is. Hey, mama. Um, and since I was not able to conduct my morning constitution, you're getting my prison story inside the car. Say hi to Velma for everybody. It's orange. She's beautiful. You'd love her. So, the story I'm going to tell today is about what happens in the federal penitentiary prison system. Not necessarily penitentiary specifically, but in the system as a whole, whenever you piss certain people off. So, you may not know this, but if you do, forgive me for the mansplaining. Uh, there are a lot of federal prisons, like a fuck ton. Uh, and you're nominally supposed to be sent to one that's within like 500 miles or so of your hometown. But I mean, legit, 500 miles from your hometown is fuck a long way. And that just doesn't tend to work out that way because where you get sent in the federal system is a layered patchwork based on several different factors. One, uh, for most people, your security score, which has to be you know, it's a number, and it has to be below, say, like 11 to go to a camp, and then like 17 or 18, maybe 21. I can't remember. You can look it up. Uh, to go to a low, and then above the low you go to a medium. Above the medium you go to a max. Above a max you go to a super max. Now, none of this shit applies, right? If you're fucking famous, none of this shit applies. That they're gonna put you wherever the fuck they're gonna put you so that they can both maximize the fact that you're famous and uh, keep you from dying so that they don't look like the incompetent uh, idiots that they are. Because let me fill you in whether you know this or not. The BOP is run by idiots. But hands down, they are fucking morons. The only reason they succeed at what they do, and I'm not calling it a success, I'm just saying it's a system that perpetuates itself because they have policy guidelines and they stick to them. The BOP lower level employees themselves refer to the BOP, and I am not making this up, backwards on purpose. You want to fail up in an organization? Go to the BOP. Yeah. You want to be a bad human being? Go to the BOP. So, when you piss off certain people, mainly lieutenants, majors, wardens, associate wardens, etc., and you cause a lot of problems at a given facility, they often, and they will never openly admit to this, uh, at least not while they're still working for the POP, because A, it's actually against the law. And it just goes to show you that everyone, and I mean this fucking blanket, every single person who is a law and order person will break the fucking law at least once in their life and would forgive at least one person in their life for doing the same. So, it's risible to the point of ridiculousness that you could be charged as a human being with keeping another human being bound and restricted from freedom for breaking laws. And then you feel empowered to break laws with no consequences. That people in the BOP don't see how absolutely immoral that is striking to me. But hey, it is what it is. So, diesel therapy, what is it? Diesel therapy is when the current facility you're at decides, hey, fuck you. You caused a problem for us. You did something we didn't like. You are too much of our attention and we don't like it. So we're going to get your ass out of here. They will transfer you to another facility. Now, when you are in transit from one facility to another in the Bureau of Prisons, and this is why it's important to know that there's so many facilities. While you're in transit, you don't go directly to that facility, even if it's like close. unless it's on the same compound. Like if you're going from the Beaumont Low to the Beaumont camp, yeah, you're just going to take a little bus ride or walk or something. Take a van ride with the town driver. But get me on town drivers later. So, uh, but if you're not, if you're going anywhere else, you, my friend, are going to experience the Federal Transfer Center. And you, my friend, are going to experience, most likely, Con Air. Yes, Con Air is a real thing. It is not just a bad, bad vehicle for Nicolas Cage to have long hair. Ah, it was terrible. So, what Con Air is a series of repurposed airliners that the Bureau of Prisons and the federal government have purchased, and they have turned them into slave transport, where they move inmates from one place to another so that they can have an efficient system of transfer. Now, they don't just directly fly you. It's not like commercial airline. Oh, I'm going to go get on the flight from Baton Rouge to Houston. No, bitch. No, no. They are the federal government. They bureaucratize everything. So you are going to the Federal Transfer Center in Oklahoma City. Now, while you're in transit, you get none of your things. None. I tell you, none. It is like reliving all of the trauma that comes from initially being processed into prison and losing your human identity, or being processed into a county jail and having it reinforced to you that, bitch, you ain't shit. You don't get shit. You don't deserve shit. They will reinforce to you that their entire reason behind their job is just to keep you alive, not happy, not content, not functioning as a human being. They don't care about any of that. They don't care that you come out better. They don't care if you come out worse. They don't care if you get an education. They don't care if you're healthy. They don't care about any of that. All they care about is that you are not dead in their custody. Truth. So, a function of that is that nothing about which life rolls around for the rest of the world can matter to you in this context. When you are under transport by the federal government through the federal prison system, you are not a human being. You are cargo, and you will be treated like cargo. They will frog march you in, doesn't matter what your crime is. You know, you could have been stealing money from little old ladies. You could have killed a buffalo on federal lands. It doesn't fucking matter. You could be the Unabomber. It doesn't matter. They will shackle you at the wrist, shackle you at the legs, and then black box you. That is when they take a piece of plastic and they attach a waist chain to you and attach the handcuffs to the waist chain so that you can't do fuck all anything. Then they're gonna go through a whole long, and it's the process starts at like 2 o'clock in the morning. You're gonna leave whatever facility you're at. You're gonna get put on a bus, and you're gonna get brought down to a transfer center or to an airport, and it's always gonna be like a small airport. You're gonna get shackled and black boxed, and then forced to just wait around for a while. And that BOP is a lot of waiting. Then they're gonna bring up an airplane. You're going to get your name called. You're gonna get on the airplane, and you're gonna be forced to sit, not in like not in like two seater kind of thing. It's always uh three seat rows, uh, and you don't get a choice of anything, and they don't remove any of the bindings, not the shackles, not the wrist chains, not the waist chains, none of it while you're on the airplane. Bitch, don't have to go to the bathroom. I'm serious. Don't fucking have to go to the bathroom. When they offer you that water, don't drink it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. And uh, if it's a particularly long flight, which I only experienced once, uh, they may give you like a bag lunch with a banana and like a really really foul sandwich or something in it. Uh, Maybe an apple, something you can eat with one hand. Uh, but under no circumstances will they remove any of that stuff. And you're not allowed to lift up the little like window shade, which why they have liftable window shades when you can't lift them up when they clearly retrofit the plane for the purpose? Fucking stupid. But hey, that's the BOP. So you can't turn around. You can't talk to the person next to you openly. If they see you doing it, they come and they glare at you and they yell at you. They threaten you. And these are all marshals too. These people really, really believe that they are good people. They believe that what they're doing is just what they're doing, and you deserve every bit of it. And As long as they stay within their policy guidelines, you have no reason to think of them as anything less than heroes. Let me give you a little bit. You marshals, y'all ain't fucking heroes. You're bullies. That's what you are. Own it. Tell people. Be honest. Say, hey, just like I can tell people, hey, I was a drug dealer. Hey, fuck, you're a bully. And you get paid by the federal government to bully people, to cow them, to make them afraid, to treat them like cargo and cattle, and then go home to your family and act like you didn't just do that to another human being. Hey, bravo. I hope you enjoy your paycheck. We both know you don't. I've met too many of you. There's some of you out there, I'm sure, that you enjoy it, and you have happy, contented lives. But the vast majority of you, no, you don't. So, anyway, once you get done off that plane flight, you're not going directly to your facility initially. You're going to the Federal Transfer Center in Oklahoma City. And that is like uh, a black hole prison. You're just going to be stuck in a cell almost all day. And it's not the most uncomfortable cell I've ever been in. And they do have books and TV and some games and things. And they have like massive day rooms where like 200 something inmates can congregate during the day. And there's never just one TV room. They have an exercise room too, but it doesn't have any equipment in it. Or at least not the ones that I've been in. I've been there 6 times. Um, so you then they have phones that you can call out, but it's not free. Your family has to get uh, the federally mandated account that costs like a shit ton of money, and then put minutes on it for you to talk. It's such a fucking hustle, and I mean, bravo to whichever vendor managed to convince a congressman or whatnot to get them that contract because capitalism, right? So you're going to spend all day. Like every time I was there, managed to get lucky and find, look, managed to find like a Tolkien book or a Robert Jordan book or a good nonfiction biography, something that I really wanted to read. I love to read. So I spent all day laying in bed reading. And, there's no commissary, there's no like radios, nothing. You get nothing. And you can't bring anything in with you. You can't take anything out with you. When you leave, you're going to get strip searched. You're going to get everything taken away from you. You're not going to you can't even bring a fucking Bible with you. Which, again, that's a whole subject for another story. Why you can bring a Bible with you, but you can't, for instance, bring a copy of Harry Potter. It's stupid. So, um, you, after some period of time, now for me, each time I was at the FTC, the stay was between 5 and 14 days. Eventually, someone's going to call you in and they're going to tell you, hey, you're going here, but not like until the day before you're leaving, usually. And I mean, don't have any medical problems while you're there. Whew, don't do it. Because the doctor is essentially like a fast food window, except behind a pill cart. And now I did have one really great experience with a doctor where I told this doctor what the problem that I was having. I had really bad psoriasis at the time, and I hadn't been able to wash my hair because they don't give you stuff to wash your hair with. You're supposed to use bar soap. The fuck. Uh, and I showed it to him, and he literally made a noise like, oh, "What the fuck?" and immediately prescribed me a shampoo. So I was the only inmate on the entire like 200 inmate area who had shampoo. You can imagine how long that lasted. Thank God I left like 2 or 3 days later. This doctor, he said something to me that really, it didn't quite save my life, but it came close. He told me, he said, because I yelled at him. And usually if you yell at a staff member, I mean, you're going to get locked up. You're going to be put in lockdown, maybe even a straight jacket, that kind of shit. Not a straight jacket, but like one of those suicide outfits. It's really miserable. Another story, another time. He tells me, he said, man, the only difference between me and you is that you're over there and I'm over here. And I was like, what? A self aware BOP employee? How is that possible? How is it possible? Because they all believe that they're above the law. That every last fucking one of them does. They're not. But they believe it. And he's like, man, I could leave here tonight and there could be a kilo of cocaine under my car that I didn't know about. And if somebody were to see it, they're gonna clap me in chains just like they did to you. And he was telling me this as a way of saying, like, hey, I see your humanity. It's a beautiful moment. But let me tell you, rare as fuck. I can count on one hand how many times something like that happened to me during my 7 years. So you have nothing while you're in this federal transfer center. And then when you leave the federal transfer center to go to whatever facility you're going to, you're going to have to do everything again that you did to get to that federal transfer center. So you're going to have to get back on Con Air, back in the waist chains, back with the black box, back with the wrist shackles and the ankle shackles. And you're going to go through all that again to get where you're going. If you're lucky, if you're blessed by the Jesus, you're going to go to a camp. And when you get out of these chains, you'll never be behind a locked door. You'll never be in chains again unless you know, get up to some shit. And you'll never be forced to deal with this ever again. But most people are not like that. And that's not the point of the story. The point of the story is diesel therapy. Because what they do, and I'm sorry about the length of this, but it is what it is. I'm driving and y'all are distracted. When they don't like you and you've pissed them off, they will just bounce you from facility to facility to facility. And because BOP employees cannot be promoted at the facility they're currently at, because they develop camaraderie between themselves and the other officers. And imagine if you were suddenly put in charge, like militarily, in front of all of your friends, and they all had to do what you said. Is that going to work? Yeah, probably not. And some, genius bureaucrat in the BOP realized that. So you can't be, for instance, made into a lieutenant at the facility you're currently at. You have to get transferred to another facility. So there's this whole network of transferred employees. It's like they know each other a little bit, but the lieutenants especially. And they will put out the word. They'll put little notes in your file. They'll make it clear to the receiving people at the other facility, don't keep this inmate. This inmate is trouble. And then that facility will let you stay there just long enough to get, maybe even get your things for like a day. And then the next thing you know, you wake up and you're on the call out sheet to leave the next day. And you're going to do that whole federal transfer shit again. And you're going to get to the next place, and then they're going to do it to you again. And you're going to get to the next place, and you're going to do it to it. They're going to do it to you again. And you're going to tell someone, you're going to be like, this is not right. This is not fair. This is against the law. How can you people do this? And they're going to look at you and go, fuck you. Don't care. You're not a human being. You're going to call a lawyer. The lawyer's going to tell you, ain't shit I can do for you. You're going to call your parents. They're going to cry with you. Not shit they can do for you. And you tell me that any part of that makes sense. Tell me that any part of that, even when the person being sent on that diesel therapy deserves every fucking bit of it. Tell me how that should be legal, how that should be okay. Even when the lieutenants that do it are women that I stand, women that I love, people that I'm like, y'all are fucking bomb. Tell me how that shit's okay. It's not okay. And it happens every fucking day. And y'all aren't aware of it. You're listening to me tell you about it, so you didn't know. Well, now you know what diesel therapy is. I hope y'all enjoyed the story. Love y'all, unless you're a BOP employee or a marshal. And in that case, I may like you. You never know. Some of you were really fucking cool. The vast majority of you, though, you deserve diesel therapy. Bye.